Hey everybody, it's me and Jess Fox, and this is not the 59th episode of the Unmanned Podcast. This is I guess we're gonna call them a mini-sode. That's what most other podcasts do.
An
Or something like
intermission.
that. Yeah. Just a little tiny bit of content to keep your palate sated in between all of that food you might be eating.
Because it's American Thanksgiving this week.
Yeah, so we true story, we tried to message Justin and I think he's already gone for the holiday, so he hasn't replied.
He's either left or he's working his butt off like he normally is, so he wasn't able to reply to us. So we're gonna
Justin
figure it
in
out.
real life is very, very, very busy with his real life job. So oftentimes we don't actually talk to him except for like a day out of the week aside from the day we record. He'll show up on the day we record right on time, but this week we have to record a little bit early. So we're going to do something short, just me and Jordan. And we're going to talk about whatever this weirdo. By the way, in case you're new, this isn't the normal structure. My name's Jake. This is Jordan. He's Izzet Fox. I'm Jake the Jackal. That's all you really need to know. If you like this kind of shorter content type thing, 20 minutes, you should definitely throw a couple bucks over on our Patreon because we do an extra one of these every week along with the regular episode. You can get it for cheap, $5.
Oh yeah. Basically, we hang out with Justin like maybe once a week, and then also we get to do the podcast. And it's like a lot of time he's not around just because he stays very busy. So anyway, this is one of those times where scheduling did not quite work out, unfortunately, and now we're here. So Jake, I'm gonna ask you because I've not been playing anything interesting. What have you been playing this week, Jake?
World of Warcraft a little bit, RuneScape a little bit.
I know you have not bought Shadowlands yet, but I was watching some people play the launch, and it looks pretty cool so far. I'm kind of down for it.
Yeah, I'm very into it, honestly. The more I learn about the expansion, the more it's kind of pulling me in. I played Legion up until the last patch, basically. There was a point where I just kind of got distracted by something else, and I said, I'm not going to play this. And then I came back in the last patch and was like, dang, I really should have played all of this. And then Battle for Azeroth came out, and I'm just like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. And everyone was saying that on launch. I saw a few of the things that they did in the game, and I'm just like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Also, the weird Azerite necklace that they did to replace artifact weapons was garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the problem with BFA as well. I mean, everyone quotes like the loot thing, everything being random. It's like you never knew what you were gonna get, so you had to grind and grind and grind, and there was no reason really to raid. You get the same gear from raiding that you got from dailies. And it's just like basically they took the reward structure of their game that worked really well, and they just were like, okay, we're gonna take this part, I'm gonna put it here, and this part, I'm gonna put it here. And then when they've taken all the parts of this engine that normally runs smoothly, it all broke and fell apart, and they went, oh, I wonder what happened.
yeah, the thing about it is that I've watched a lot of content on the failings of BFA and the where Legion got it right. The thing that Legion had the same problems as far as loot as BFA. Anyone says otherwise wasn't playing Legion.
Yeah.
It was weird, random. It was hard to get your best in slot stuff because there would be random additional stats on it. You had to do lots of grinding to try to get it. But the thing about Legion is everything else was really, really good. The storyline was interesting. The class identity was fantastic. The order halls, the artifact weapons, all of that was awesome to engage with. And it was great for alts because you could play an alt and have a completely separate experience from your first character.
Yeah.
On top of that, the PvP was pretty fun. It wasn't great, but it was just good enough. And then the raids were fantastic. Just pitch perfect. Great.
Yeah. All good stuff.
Now we come into BFA. Everything I just said positive about Legion was bad in BFA. PvP was the worst it's ever been. The raids were the only good part. Like Warlords of Draenor before Legion, the raids were the saving grace. They were the only fun part. Everything around it, gear gathering, all of that, didn't get fixed from Legion. And then they added a bunch of shit that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
A lot of people, if you are in the World of Warcraft space, you'll hear about these things called island expeditions. Basically, what island expeditions were little tiny randomized areas you would go into, and you'd do a couple of like quest type objectives, and you'd go in with a party typically, and you just, it was just a little random bit of content. The problem is there weren't that many configurations, and you had to do a fuck ton of these, and they were pushed super hard. They were super into this type of content for some reason.
I don't know why. Because, so I honestly, I think I can pin down with the knowledge of hindsight
Oh,
what went wrong with BFA and why they designed it that way.
one more thing about BFA that was a big issue. Legion had like daily quests and weekly stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
BFA had like 3 times the amount of daily stuff. You had to log in every day, or else you got serious feel bads. Just it felt awful not logging in every day.
And as a RuneScape player, let me tell you the quickest way to burn someone out on a video game: make it feel like they have to log in every day or they lose something. People will grind their asses off for like 3 weeks, and then they'll never touch the game again. They'll be out of that shit.
A really great example of this, if you look at like gotcha games, free to play mobile games,
Yeah.
you'll notice that a lot of them have ditched the daily login rewards for instead of having to do like, okay, I have to log in on August 1st and I have to log in every single day until August 31st to get all the rewards. They do cumulative ones where every time you log in a day, you get a different reward up to like 30. So if you're logging in every day, you get more rewards than someone who isn't logging in every day, but you don't technically miss out on anything. It still remembers where you were in that little track if you do that daily. That is way more effective than actually forcing someone to log in every day.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
And you can tell it's effective because the games that are basically just trying to pump money out of people are doing it.
yeah, I feel like that's honestly where a lot of AAA games, and WoW included, have gone wrong recently, is they started designing themselves a lot like free-to-play games. I mean, we had the whole loot box thing. We got a battle pass that's for sale, even if it doesn't make any sense. Games have microtransactions, even they have a box price. And it's just like, ew. Like, no one likes that. No one likes feeling like parts of the game are locked off to them just because they didn't pay money, especially if they already bought the game. Like, back to RuneScape, because I love referencing RuneScape. One of my favorite things about this game is I never have to pay for microtransactions. Everything in the game is there for me to unlock, and all I have to do is go get it. Granted, it may take me months to years to get it, especially with some of the pets, but it's there.
The thing about free to play versus a pay for the box and you have the entire game versus like a free to play into a subscription service is that all of these games and their monetization needs to be taken into account when you're actually like designing the game and what you've designed. When you go back and look at like how we want to monetize something, you need to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, I'm going to take this thing from Fortnite, which is a free to play game, aka the Battle Pass, and throw it into the Call of Duty game. That's not the same system. The reason the Battle Pass works in free to play games is because you're paying for a lot of content in a game that is free.
Yeah.
It's like a monthly subscription almost, but you don't actually have to pay it every month.
It's a every 3 months subscription. Yeah. Every 3 months, yeah.
And then I kind of don't like Battle Passes because it's like, if you don't play the game often, you lose out on some of the value for your money.
Yeah.
But if it's free anyway, and it's completely optional, obviously, that's not a big deal to me. Especially Fortnite. Fortnite probably has the best battle pass. I don't know how it is right now, but when it's first released, it's literally just cosmetic shit. You don't need it, and you can play the whole game as it is without that.
And you still get access to the battle pass. That is the best thing about battle passes, is the ones that let you use them even if you don't pay for them, but you get extra rewards if you get an upgrade. Because then it's nice because you're still getting something if you're a free player. It's not necessarily saying that it's still an incentive, but it's less dickish, I guess. It's like it's still there to manipulate you into spending money, but it's less dickish for sure. And I feel like a lot of I watched a video recently. I'm going to be dancing around a little bit all over this thing, where this YouTuber who I watch named Knowledge Hub, he was talking about how free to play games he thinks are the future, especially for the next console, aka the Xbox, the new Xbox, and the new PS5. Right? I can't
Mhm.
remember what the fuck the Xbox is called. Xbox Series X, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xbox Series X, and then there's some Scarlet thing that I guess never came out.
Yeah, I'm just like, look,
I
dude, PS5's got it right. Just slap another number on it. Don't name it shit like the Wii U, Nintendo
this
Switch.
is
What?
this is something that this is a complete side note as to what we were talking about with free to play games, but Sony has it right. Like
Yeah,
you want to know how you know it's the new one? The number's bigger.
yeah, it's simple.
Everyone knows that. You don't have to guess. The biggest issue with the Wii U when it was released is no one knew what the fuck the thing was.
Yeah,
People were like, is this a thing I put on the Wii? It's the Wii, but it's got a U on it. So is it like an adapted? Like, do I
yeah,
put it on the Wii and it makes the Wii better? Like, what is this thing?
yeah.
You can't do that. If I go into the store and I say, I want the new Xbox, and they go, oh, you want the Xbox Series X? And I go, maybe? I don't
Wait,
know what one that is.
yeah. And it's just like, and the problem is that Xbox got away with it. The Xbox One, so they're gonna keep doing it because the Xbox One is literally what everyone calls the original Xbox. So it's just like
Yeah.
now that they've gotten away with this horse shit once, they're gonna do it like
They
at least two more times before they realize it's a dumb idea.
they absolutely did not get away with it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That the Xbox One sold worse than the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
It sold worse than the PlayStation 4. They had worse game sales on it. They did not get away with it.
Fair enough.
They completely fucked up last generation. And the fact that they named their stupid new console the Xbox Series X instead of the Xbox 2, I guess, because they named the last one the Xbox One for some fucking reason. It just completely shows to me.
Get down. Hold up, can we leave this in? If you're on the audio cast, I'm sorry, but my cat has just jumped up on my dresser because he has been just so hyper today and just wants to play with everything. So hold on one second. I'm gonna go get him down.
All right.
Get down from there, bud. You can't just hop on everything. Now everyone knows I'm wearing basketball shorts.
Oh no.
Oh god.
I'm obviously wearing a really great
I'm like moist critical
pair
but
of
with
pants
a fox on my chest.
I'm like a really nice dressed. Obviously, I got a nice sweater on today, a little beanie. So of course, I'm not wearing pajama pants on my bottom half.
Except you are. We all know it.
I definitely didn't wear a tank top and pajama pants all day today while working my day job, and then put this on for the recording. That would never happen. What are you talking about?
Working from home has its perks. Yeah, I literally have been wearing these basketball shorts all day.
Anyway, Xbox has fucked up their marketing.
Yeah,
surprise,
no,
surprise.
they definitely have.
I love the Switch too, but
well, the Switch at least the Switch
at least it's an easy thing to say.
it's-
The Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and it's new. It doesn't share a name with anything they've made before. So you go, oh,
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch. That must be a new console. I've never heard of that before. Okay. And the thing about the Switch is that its name implies the whole taking off the controllers and lifting it off the
Yeah, you
bottom.
can switch stuff around.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so I get it. And it's like PS5. Well, it's the 5th generation of PlayStation. Whoa, really?
I can't imagine why it's called that. I never figured that one
really
out.
hopped out of the box on that one. But anyway, so that was a long tangent. So for free to play games, this guy and a lot of other people think free to play games are the future. And it's not just them saying this. There's a lot to indicate that this would be successful. For instance, mobile games were really successful. Thing he points out in this video is that a lot of mobile games and a lot of games that adopt mobile game like structures, looking at you, EA, and all your games, they're successful in the short term. So they make a lot of, so it's good for a quick cash grab, but it's really bad for long term longevity. So until Pokemon Go came out, Pokemon Go is still kicking. Did you know they celebrated their 4th year and they made $6.8 billion this year? Pokemon Go took all the money and said, hey, let's make this a better game that people will enjoy playing. Imagine that. And they're getting.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Wait. You're telling me that After pre-order selling 1 million copies, Fallout 76 should have improved their game within the first month.
Yes. I mean, obviously, what else would you do with all that money except build a money throne for Todd Howard to sit on? What else are you going to use the money for, Jake?
I can't imagine. There's nothing useful. Paying people, doing bonuses, fuck that. No.
Yeah, no. We got to build a money fort,
throne,
a money throne, money fort. We got to build.
We'll get it.
A money gizmo.
Money gizmo. But I'm. This is a train wreck, Jordan.
It's okay. It's just the cat. He's always here, and since I'm talking, he assumes I'm talking to him as well as the problem. If only someone else would love him. If only someone here loved you. I'm kidding. I love you, buddy. Maybe just cut the cat moments and then no, hey, you can't sit in my lap right now. You'll hit my mic.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I kind of agree with this perspective. I think that free-to-play games are definitely the future because it just lets, like, instead of a demo, I think people just like make the multiplayer free with microtransactions, which for one thing, I'm down for because I fucking hate Call of Duty story and I never want to play it, but I would love to hop on the multiplayer for like 2 hours with my friends and then never touch it again. So I don't want to pay a $70 box price for Call of Duty. It's like, same thing with Halo. I don't really care about the Halo campaigns. I won't play them, but I love the multiplayer and I'll give it a shot for a little bit. So same thing. When they say Halo Infinite is going to be free to play for the microtransactions for the multiplayer, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm on board with that. Give me that right now. And I think that's the future, is giving people like something of value from your game for free, but it has additional ways to make money off of it. And I like that. Right. I think that's good. I think that's a positive way to monetize your game and to give people an in to your game, because that's like the hardest thing, is getting people to just try the game, especially when there's a $70 box price. That's awful.
Yeah. Well, and this is something that comes up a lot with me. I have no idea why Call of Duty has a single player mode, a zombie mode, a multiplayer mode, and a battle royale mode all in the same game for $6.
Yeah.
Those parts do not appeal to the same audience. Yes, there is probably a lot of Call of Duty fans who will buy that game and they will play all of the bits a little bit, but they're going to play one of those bits more than all the others by a lot. And I have absolutely no idea why the gaming industry has not learned to be more flexible with their pricing. They are big corporations, at least, like 2K, are trying to make us pay more. $70.
That's why it said $70. Yeah, because everyone's raising the price. Raising the price by $10.
They're trying to make the price higher. People are just going to stop buying your game on release.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you just try to get more money out of the same audience, that doesn't work. You need to expand to more people. This is the same way that people realize the pasta sauce analogy comes up all the time, where I can't remember the people who did it, but basically it was ragu. Okay. Basically, back in the day, there was only like 3 varieties of ragu. And what happened was they hired this really, really smart guy who did a study, and he went to all the consumers he could reach, and he said, hey guys, what type of pasta do you want? Like, what type of pasta sauce do you want? And he found that there was not one type of pasta sauce that everyone wanted, because believe it or not, people are individuals with different tastes.
Yeah.
He found there were 3 types. There were spices, there were chunkies, and there were like with cheese or some shit like that. Some third one I can't even remember. And so ragu, what they did is they took their main line of sauces and they split them into multiple different flavors. And if you go to the damn pasta aisle right now, or any aisle with a variety of flavors, this guy in his study is the reason why. It's because they found out you can make more sales with more options.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason, the gaming industry has not realized this. They haven't noticed that the free to play games that everyone can try with multiple options of how to play them, as far as how much you want to spend, as far as what you want to buy in the shop, how much you want to grind versus how much you want to just pay your way, seem to make the most fucking money.
Or also games that just have a variety of different ways to approach the game and play. It's like going
Exactly.
back to the Call of Duty thing. It's like some people like multiplayer, some people like zombies, but for some reason they're in the same package. I would love to hop into some zombies with my friends. With this guy right here, I think it's my last. I don't know where he's at. However, I'm not paying $70 for that shit. Fuck that. That's like $70 for like 2 nights of entertainment, maybe. It's just like that is not worth it. I'm not gonna go see a movie in theaters, which literally costs the same price as that.
The other thing that frustrates me consistently about companies and video games and all that, and they haven't gotten punished for it yet. I get the feeling as we go into the next generation, and not to bring up bad times on our gaming podcast, but there was a global pandemic, in case you didn't notice. There might be some economic hardship coming to a lot of people. And I think the gaming industry is going to find that a lot of people are not able to shell out the $70 that they are asking for. You're going to have to get flexible with your pricing. Maybe your flagship product, maybe your Call of Duty is $70 still with all the modes. But
Yeah.
you gotta give the people with only $10 something to buy. They're willing to pay you money. I guarantee it. Entertainment is one of the most economic, hardship proof industries in the world. Everyone always wants to go see a movie, whether they have $10 in their pocket or $10,000 in their pocket. It's just how it works.
Yeah. It's just whether they go to the dollar theater, which plays movies from like 8 months ago and has really bad popcorn, or they go
Yeah,
to the really expensive theater, you know?
it's the same reason why department stores will store a nice giant, like brand new, hey, it has 4K, hey, it has the digital version, it has the Blu-ray, it has everything, it's $30. And then they also, literally one aisle over, have a bunch of $5 DVDs that are a year old.
Yeah. Because
You want lots of products on your store shelves.
yeah, businesses have done this for a while. And it's just yeah, you're just losing out on sales. I don't understand how they can't see that. I actually do understand it, because it's the same way that EA thought that the reason why mobile games were successful was because of the monetization. They looked at the amount of money that mobile games were making, and this comes back around to World of Warcraft. Give me a moment. They looked at the amount of money they were making. They were said, if we adopt this payment structure into our game, we can make a lot of money, and we can charge a box price too. They never accounted for the fact that that works really well in the short term, and also those games were free, and most players actually didn't pay money for it. It's like when the actual data for free to play shows, most people will not pay for the game. Most people will play it free to play if it's an option, because they just don't want to spend the money on it. And what you're really monetizing is people who will pay for a lot of things. You're monetizing whales. And that's why a lot of free to play games go towards the pay to win aspect, is because the thing that appeals to whales is being able to pay for power, or things that only they can have. Well, the way this comes back to World of Warcraft, by the way.
For anyone who doesn't know what the term a whale is, it's not. It's a pretty stupid term, but it's basically anyone in a microtransaction system who shells out a lot of money.
I use the term whale because that is exactly what they call it when they make the game. They literally use the same term. They use whale. Anyway, which is it's kind of fucked up when you think about it.
Oh, it's really fucked up. It's 100% fucked up.
Yeah, but to bring this back to World of Warcraft, WoW did the same thing with Battle for Azeroth. They looked at a lot of games that were successful, like Chinese and Korean games that have really good like player retention because they're grindy and because you can pay stuff. You would basically have to pay to progress, right? And then we're like, what if we took that sort of thing to keep people engaged in our game. That way they have to keep playing it constantly to progress. It works for these companies, and they didn't realize that not only a completely different game. That's, first off, most of them are free to play. Uh, it's not only
Imagine
a
that.
completely different game that is probably free to play and newer than their game with less enfranchised players, but also a completely different culture that views things like buying power in a video game completely differently than we do. It's like in Korea and Japan and China, buying a level boost is nothing that they would have ever blinked twice at. It's something that they already had in their games from like the early 2000s. It's just like, basically, game companies need to, I don't even know how you prevent that. Basically, just don't be fucking greedy. When you're making 200 billion or million or however much it is a year, maybe you're okay. Maybe you don't need to make any more money.
Honestly, it's not even that. I would never expect Activision to actually split up Call of Duty into these different like $20 packages.
I would.
They just won't. I want them to,
I
but
would, because it would make
the
them more
game
money.
is
Like, it's just
the
smart.
game is right, but the game is too successful, I think, for that to actually be a thing.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna ride on it. But when Activision comes out with I don't know, a smaller indie game, when someone publishes Ori, like for example, the Ori games were published by Microsoft. Those games were not $60 when they released; they were $40. And the reason is very simple. That's the price that works for them. They're shorter experiences. They don't have multiplayer. They're just nice little self-contained single-player games. You don't. What happened, Jordan?
I need a new chair.
Ah, of course.
Okay, continue.
You don't need to pay the full giant game price for a smaller game. You don't need to pay the same price for a 24 pack of Oreos that you pay for a 12 pack. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Do not charge me $70 for NHL 21 when it is literally the same as NHL 2020. Fuck you.
Seriously, fuck you. And if you're falling for this stuff and paying $70 for literally sports games that have been the same for the past 5 years, stop.
Please stop. They were just fleecing you.
Play the one you have from last year.
It's-
It's going to be the same experience.
The funny thing is that they actually a lot of time will update the old games with the new rosters, because I think they have to for a lot of them. They're like under contract.
You want to know another cool secret about AAA games? Call of Duty Modern Warfare still has a really large player base, and you can still play it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy Cold War. It's still there. People are still playing it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who will say get into a game, and then they'll just never leave the one that they bought. They really enjoyed that one, and that's what they'll stay with. So it's like, if you want to get into a game, obviously you can go do some research and figure out if there's still a community for it. But like, I guarantee you, there's still a lot of people playing like original Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. It also helps that this is a Treyarch one, and I'm pretty well versed in old Call of Duties where they have a Treyarch one, and they have, is it Respawn now?
No,
Who does it
it's
now?
it's still Infinity Ward, but a bunch of people.
Oh,
from
Infinity Ward.
Infinity
That's
Ward,
right.
Yeah, they left to make Respawn.
That's right. Respawn's what they made, but there's an Infinity Ward and a Treyarch one. I have very harsh opinions about all the Treyarch ones, and just like with the last Treyarch one that I tried, apparently Cold War has really shit shooting mechanics. Surprise. The last Treyarch one also had shit shooting mechanics. I wonder if there's something they're bad at.
I mean, the other thing that I've seen is that the game, speaking of the new Call of Duty, the game barely works from what I've seen. A bunch of people on PlayStation 5 can't even play the goddamn game. Like, Miles Morales works perfectly. However, strangely, the Activision game is busted and doesn't fucking work.
Very odd.
I don't know,
very
man.
Odd. I have no idea how that would happen. All right, but that's all from us, I think, this week. If you guys want more of us,
Got one more.
sure, drop a follow, subscribe on YouTube, go to our Patreon.
I will leave you with one last line. This is why I play a 2007 MMORPG constantly. Anyway,
It's a good game. If you want to come and play RuneScape with us, still sick. We'll see you guys next week with a full episode. We should have the full crew on, and yeah,
yeah.
have a great Thanksgiving, guys. I hope
If you're in
if you're not in the
America,
U.S., guess what? I still hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Just do whatever you normally do on this day.
yeah, have a good weekend or week. It's a weekend for me because I'm off work tomorrow. Hell yeah. Later, everyone.
Hell yeah. See you guys.